So this week, it is our special Oscar edition, the Oscars celebrating 95 years. We're going to be breaking that down. We have just finished watching it. What are the standout moments for you, Dale?
Think for other than of course the battle all night between All Quiet on the Western Front and Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think some of the jokes went like a little bit too long, but the one thing that did stand out to me the most that I vehemently did not like was the fact that all the smaller award winners they were gave them no time to like say anything. They just like, oh, one person says something. Usually both people get to talk. No, oh, one person, and then they just cut them off. But I feel like it's really disrespectful because if you're gonna honor these awards, give everybody the same equal credence.
Yeah, that was so uncomfortable to watch as well. And even people in the audience were like reacting, like physically cringing every time someone from the team would come up to speak and the music would just start playing. And then also the music plays, but the mic gets lowered. So like you can't even like continue talking even if you wanted to because they physically remove the mic away from
Yeah,
your mouth. This award show is 3 hours long. You're telling me that you can't make space for people who have just won an Oscar, probably the biggest moment of their careers, but you can make time for silly jokes and like unnecessary musical performances. Like it's just
Elizabeth Banks, what cocaine bear jokes kind of went like it went too long than it should have, and then right after that you have Jimmy Kimmel bring up a donkey on stage.
if it's this long, let the people speak when they win an Oscar. Like how difficult is that? It's just the time management that goes into these award shows always baffles me.
Especially the difficulty it was to try and find to watch this damn thing. Like nobody really like watches physical TV anymore. So the difficulty I had to go through, like, oh, they just the ABC is no longer on Sling, and I'm just there looking for like to the amount of hoops I jumped through just to watch this program.
And I feel like most award shows are moving towards streaming. Golden Globes was on Peacock. The SAG Awards was on Netflix. Like it just makes more sense because of the day and age that we're in to move these things online. It doesn't make any sense to have not only have it be on a network but make it inaccessible to people to watch it. Like that just doesn't. And then you're going to complain about ratings and you're going to complain about the runtime, and it's like, yes, like you guys are doing things in a very old fashioned way. Like this isn't 2010 anymore. Like we are in a different place societally. Like just move with the time. Like you're not that prestigious to be online. But honestly, going forward, like I don't really want to watch it. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
if I have to jump through these hoops, I'll just watch the clips in the morning on YouTube or
Yeah.
watch through osmosis on Twitter.
The other big upset was that Angela Bassett did not win Best Supporting Actress, which really seemed like a lock early on in the awards season. Like it really seemed like she was gonna clinch that. And I think we were all hoping and rooting for her to do so. Her performance in Black Panther was stellar and was
Yeah.
absolutely worthy of an Oscar. So yeah, it was just a huge disappointment. Like I get it. Like Jamie Lee Curtis has been putting in work for I don't know, 30 plus years and doing genre films that the Academy probably wouldn't even recognize as being worthy of nomination for its award show. And I totally respect that. I think she's a great actress. I just don't feel like this was her time. And I don't feel like this was her moment to win an award like this. I feel like the Academy was just like, you've done really good work. Here's an award. Now that you're in this movie that, has all this recognition.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just feel like Angela was robbed.
To me, Angela, her career longevity and the variety of projects she did do throughout her career, um, what you could say for any number of Angela Bassett's movies that she's deserving of the Oscar.
The most surprising thing was Everything Everywhere All at Once kind of sweeping a lot of the awards. I know All Quiet on the Western Front swept most of the technical awards, it's a war movie, like that was kind of obvious. But in terms of like acting, writing, direction, like remember watching the movie and not really being kind of bowled over by it. Like I thought it presented some good ideas. I thought it was a cool way to like talk about the multiverse in like an interesting way that was independent of Marvel or any superhero genres. But overall, it didn't leave a huge impact on me the way I think it has on so many other people. That being said, it is an independent film. It's made by a white man, but also an Asian man, and it has an all Asian cast, or mostly Asian because Jamie Lee Curtis is in there, and it did really well in the box office for it being kind of movie that it was, and I think for that it definitely deserved the acknowledgement that it got, and I think the goodwill from this film really carried it to tonight. I will say I like the Daniels a lot. They're real cool guys. I can't wait to see what they make next. What was obvious to me was one, the lack of women present in the nominations, but also just whoever in the winners. Like it just felt like a sausage fest. But I am happy that Sarah Polly won for Women Talking. I'm happy that Ruth Carter also won a second costuming Oscar for Black Panther, which is dope. It feels like we're taking a step backwards, but also forwards because everything everywhere all at once won. It's just a very confusing. Michelle Yeoh won Best Actress.
Yeah, Best Actress,
which was awesome.
Best, yeah, awesome. It is 2023. We should not be still having the first this, the first that, for any reason,
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Maybe if people were more vocal about changing some of these systems and how they work, it would be more beneficial to more people. It would be more diverse and inclusive. But I think more people need to care about the changes of it more than the validation of actually winning one, like actually winning an Oscar. Because I feel like that kind of covers everyone's like, well, I can do it, so can you. And sometimes that's true and sometimes it's not. Like it really, it's beautiful to hear people say like, oh, for all those people who look like me, like this is for you. But the chances of people who look just like those individuals getting an opportunity to even get meetings or get auditions and actually like get in the room to hopefully one day end up on stage accepting an Oscar, like it's not, the chances of that are pretty slim. So I want the system overall to get better at not being so elitist, not being so kind of close ranks about like how they do certain things, and actually just open it up and make it more accessible for more people to pursue this profession.
And honestly, and that comes to light in with Brendan Fraser when he said he won, like his manager when he won for The Whale, he mentioned like she found a creative lifeline for him because like his career was dead, without this movie, and you could like you could see how thankful he is to not just get the opportunity to act, but to win this award. Like, yeah, I think Brendan Fraser, had he not won the award, he would have been like the most grateful just for the fact that his career had such the 180 it did.
And I hope that continues. A lot of times people, you see them win Oscars and then you don't hear or see them again for many, many years after that. So I, again, hope that this will usher in more people to want to work with them and them being more involved in different projects.
That, we spoke about this, like in the memoriam section, like made like the worst sense possible to me. Like you got John Travolta up there, and like the span of like back to back, his son dies, his wife dies, and then one of my known co-stars for multiple movies, Kirstie Alley, dies. Oh, one of my biggest co-stars for the movie that set my career, Olivia Newton-John, you have that man up there giving that reward. And then you have, for Best Picture nominee, you have Triangle of Sadness. And I'm hoping I pronounced her name wrong, but Siobhan Davis. She died August of last year. She's not included. Yes, I know she spent her career as a model, but how do you have a Best Picture nominee and one of the stars of the movie not featured in your memoriam segment?
The Oscar needs a lot of work. I won't say it was a waste of time, but it was just, I could have just caught the highlights.
It wasn't given that special.
Yeah. And it's very difficult for most award shows to do that unless there is some type of drama. Like, unless there's like an actual drama, like even if it wasn't like the slap. But I remember like watching the VMAs and like every year the VMAs was drama. But like that's why you watched it.
And
So like
that's the thing. Like, you had the slap the year before, and then a couple years ago you had Parasite out of nowhere winning all these established Hollywood movies. That was the main thing everybody was talking about. And then after before that, you had the La La Land thing. It seems like without that big draw thing, that talking point, the Oscars is dead. Do you like that clip? Well, you can listen to the entire podcast because the 16mm Film Crew podcast is available on all major podcast platforms.